This watch packs insane specs at a killer price, and you're gonna have a hard time finding something else this good at this price point. If you're a watch enthusiast, you've probably heard of Zelos. This Singaporean microbrand makes incredible watches, and they've managed to build a very loyal fan base. I never owned one because most of their watches were either too big or too loud for my taste. But as soon as I saw this GMT, I just knew I had to have it. This is the second generation of the Mako GMT line, and it comes with a few improvements over its predecessor. Now, Zelos usually have limited watches for each drop, and they sell out within minutes. If you're not frantically refreshing the website when they go live, odds are you'll probably miss out on getting one. That's changed though. They've increased their production volume recently, so you can still get one of these at the time of recording. The case on this watch feels built like a tank, and the fit and finish is exceptional for the price point. It has a mix of brush and polished surfaces, and they're all done to a very high standard. The brushing is fine and almost satin-like, and the transitions and chamfers are crisp and defined. The case on this latest version is slimmer, coming in at just 12mm. That's quite slim for a watch with 300 meters of water resistance. But if you count the dome sapphire crystal, the thickness goes up to 14.7mm. It doesn't look that thick visually because of the actual case thickness, but that's just something to keep in mind. That being said, it feels great on the wrist. The case has a nice balance, and the dimensions fall in that sweet spot for most wrist sizes. The GMT bezel insert is made from ceramic, and it's a nice shade of gunmetal grey to emulate the sun-faded look on vintage watches. Now, this is an actual GMT bezel, so you have 48 bidirectional clicks to set different time zones. The resistance is perfect. The clicks are firm and reassuring. You also get a lot of purchase from the bezel, so it's easy to rotate even if you have sweaty hands. The dome sapphire crystal looks beautiful, but looks aren't everything. The crystal adds a ton of height to the watch, and it reflects almost everything. I don't think it's because of a weak AR coating, at least not entirely. These reflections happen with dome crystals like this, there's just no getting around it. I'd like to see Zelos use a box crystal instead. Pair that up with an improved AR coating, and it's going to drastically reduce reflections. Moving on to the dial. It's a really dark grey color, and like the bezel insert, it emulates the sun-faded look of vintage black dials. If you look closely, there's actually a subtle guilloche pattern on the dial. I really like how subdued it is. It looks like a flat dial most of the time, but you get a nice surprise when the light hits it from certain angles. They even color match the date wheel to blend in with the dial. The hands and applied indices are multifaceted, and they're finished to a very high standard. They catch the light quite easily, so you're going to see them even in very dim lighting. Zelos has gained a reputation for having some of the best lume in the business, and this Mako GMT just confirms that. The two-tone lume is beautiful to look at. It glows like a torch in the dark, and it's easily going to last you the entire night. They've even loomed the Zelos logo on the crown. That's a really cool touch. The movement powering this watch is the Miyota 9075. This is a flyer GMT movement, so you can jump the hour hand back and forth instead of using the GMT hand. It's a really cool complication to play with, but there's a catch. Unlike a collar GMT movement like the Seiko NH34, this does not have a quick set date. So if you want to change the date, you'll have to jump the hour hand all the way forward or backwards and cycle through the date every 24 hours. That can get quite annoying. Would you prefer to have a quick set date or this jumping hour hand? Let me know in the comments. Moving on to the bracelet, and this is one of the most impressive parts of the watch. It feels incredibly high quality. There's a good amount of articulation and a nice taper. All the edges feel soft to the touch, so you're not going to feel any hot spots on your wrist. The top of the links even have beautiful polished chamfers on the outside. That really elevates the look. I can just about get away with the mail and links here. They don't protrude out too far, so even with the extended lug to lug, it feels quite manageable for me. They've also included quick release spring bars, so it's gonna be easy to switch out the bracelet for different straps. The mill clasp is a thing of beauty. It looks fantastic with that Zelos logo, and it even comes with a tool-free micro adjust function. I've tried a lot of tool-free clasps, but I really think the one on this Mako GMT is the new benchmark below $1,000. It's shorter than the clasp I have on my Christopher Ward and Trasca, and the mechanism is so much easier to use than those two. This Mako GMT launched in March for $529, but they've gone up to $629 now that the launch pricing is over. That being said, I still think they're exceptional value for money. You're gonna have a tough time finding a flyer GMT that has better build quality and features at this price point. If you've always wanted a Zelos but never clicked with your louder designs, this new Mako GMT is probably the one for you. But over to you. Do you own a Zelos and what do you think of this new GMT? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. While you're here, check out some of these videos. Thanks for watching, subscribe if you like the content, and I'll catch you in the next one.